Rive Void Knight gained Void conversion in this patch. It now deals way more damage, is super fast, has insane attack speed with the new Klotos Needle Sword. So this sword gives you base crit, gives you high attack rate. It's also a Weaver's Will item, so you could get a lot of affixes onto it. Of course you can't decide those affixes, so it's completely random, but as long as you have a void damage roll on it, it's absolutely blasting with that. The build can now also go fully crit capped instead of going for the Peak of the Mountain setup as I was going for before. So now you can just get max crit on all strikes, and this is mostly because of the just Sentinel rework with perma, Symbols of Hope, and all the passives for crit. The build is also now much more tanky because you can easily go Seed of Yggdrasil for the damage taken to mana, which is amazing for tankiness, and you have a lot of leech on the build. Rive Void Knight skills, so Rive is your main damage skill of course, converted to Void with this node here. This also doubles your echo chance, so you want to get all the echo nodes possible on the passives and everything, so very good. This doubles your stats on the two-hand weapon, so you basically double something like a flat void damage, increased damage, also ailment stats, so very crazy. Scrap metal stacks here, so armor and damage, multiplicative. So the more attack speed you have, the more stacks you of course also gain. So this node gives void penetration when you have converted right void. So it's 60% void pen with max stacks, and it's very easy to get max stacks because you have such high attack speed. Only thing you need for the ignite chance is this one idle affix here, so the prefix for the ignite, then that's enough. You also get more hit damage versus ignited enemies, so this applies before the third strike consumes the ignite, so it first applies the damage and then it consumes the ignite. And the pull here, pretty nice for mapping, even helps in bossing sometimes, so that's nice to get. Other stuff is just like more damage. You want to max out all the echo damage here and stuff like that. We don't really care about the flat damage here at all, of course, so it's just a travel point. Healing Hands, so we proc this with Rive, thanks to this node here, and then you can make it a traversal skill and also immunity while moving. Void damage reduction and necrotic damage reduction, and then you can make it a melee attack with this, and get 0 mana cost with these points here. Symbols, passive buffs, increased damage, crit chance, and then also void increased damage, and also void flat damage because it's going to be converted to void. Entrance threshold, and of course another symbol. So you could technically use this with the Klotos Needle because it's going to be parry chance, but then you have to drop something else, most likely the crit here, which is not really good. And we don't really stack any block chance, so it's not really impactful for the tankiness. Devouring Orb gives you Void Essence, so more damage, quite a bit of more damage, and then Void Thread here as well. And some mana regen, more void damage. So just passive buffs basically. You automatically cast this with this node while moving. Anomaly, very strong skill for buffs, so 50% more damage here. You want to hit with the anomaly itself, so mostly for bossing this one. And then Time Bubble gives you crit chance, attack speed, so you want to keep this up as much as possible. Then for the passives, so this node, very important with Seed of Yggdrasil, so you regain mana when you use Rive. And of course we want to get the attack speed here, so you want to be using a sword or axe. 15 points into Paladin to unlock Symbols of Hope. We don't take anything into Forge Guard. We would like to get the 5-point threshold here for the attack speed, but we just don't have any points, so it's not really good to do. So this build is quite point starved, just like most of the Void Knight builds. You want to get so many different things. So we get the thresholds here for all of these, so gives you DR, area, and then the crit multiplier per point spent. Very strong stuff. We max out the leech, and you can even get more leech here. So if you're lacking resistances, you can move these 3 points here to the to this one, so you get physical voidress if you need. Penetration, frailty is low, so you don't need to build frailty on the gear. Very nice. More damage, doubled with because we don't have any block chance, so very high value this one. And then vitality, I only go 7 points here because you really need to get all of the echo nodes, so only 7 points. Of course, if you want to get a bit more tanky, you could also max this out. But I do recommend maxing out every single echo node instead, because it's going to be doubled for Rive, so a lot of damage from these nodes. And then you get the crit chance here, so base crit, very strong, and then also the buff when you hit low life enemies, and then the damage reduction. And for the gear, this build is filled with uniques, so most of these you only need 1 LP slam, and you're going to be super strong at that point, and most of these are pretty easy to get. Of course, there are some harder ones like Omnis and stuff, but you don't need to max roll all of these resistances here. And on the starter, it's only a couple of uniques, the really strong ones without LP that you want to get. So yeah, Clotho's Needle for the weapon, very strong. So you can only get this from the Lost Wood Volley. Woven Echo, it drops from the boss, and it's a Weaver's Wheel item, so it will be random affixes that you get on it, but you could also get a lot of affixes, so I would use this even without any affixes. It's so strong, has base crit and everything, very fast weapon. You get crit multi also from it, it's super strong basically. Of course, the T7 void damage is gonna be your first thing that you hope to get. It's gonna be doubled for Rive as well. And then if you get more stats, melee attack speed, it's absolutely crazy. And then Armor Shed, if you get Armor Shed, then you don't have to get it anywhere else, so that's quite nice. If you don't have Armor Shed on the weapon, you need to get it on the idols. And Titan Heart for the tankiness, easy LP slam, common item. Just slam the +4 Rive and you're good to go. So for the helmet, we're using Seed of Yggdrasil. Only drops from Aberoth, but very good for tankiness. Damages it out to mana before HP, 28%, and then very good stats as well. You can also get the mana gain with Rive affix on it. It's not required, however, but it helps with the sustain if you take a lot of damage in a short time. So if you get more than 1 LP, you can get that affix as well. Omnis, of course, very nice for the resistances, also +1 skills. So you want to get pretty decent rolls on the cold, physical poison, necro and voidress. And of course you can also get physical voidress from the passives, so if you need more you can get some from there as well. If you're lacking some resistances, you can swap out, for example, this idol, you can swap out for a res idol. If you don't have a high rolled Omnis or if it's like a badly rolled. Then we have the usual melee set basically, so Doom Belt, Doom Bring and Suloron Step, so crit multi and a lot of damage from the Doom. And this also gives you Leech and other useful stats. You want to slam the rings with increased crit chance, so that's gonna be an easy way to cap your crit. And for gloves, this is just for the attack speed basically and decent base. You could also just use like Eternal Gauntlets, so this is completely fine as well, of course. But getting this is pretty easy, common item, and you just slam the attack speed on it, so lots of damage from that item. Flames of Midnight, movement speed from swiftness, so 20% movement speed at level 100, and also Void Pen. Anchor for the easy endurance and other good stats. On the aspirational, with the Uber Aberrant items, you can easily go Red Ring and then also Nihilus, so everything kind of like snaps in place nicely. You don't need Omnis anymore because this gives you resistances from the Red Ring and everything. So of course this is very, very high gear at this point. But this setup is incredibly strong if you have all these items. For starting out, you can get by easily with stuff like just an Odachi and rare items. These couple uniques are nice for the stats, so you don't need to worry about endurance and stuff. So, but it's not really hard to start with this build. So the idols on this build add quite a bit of damage, especially with the Frenzy enchant. So we want to get echo damage and melee void damage on the bigger ones here, and then grand idols with armor shred and then the echo frenzy affix. So you want to get all of these grand idols and the large idol with echo frenzy. So this gives you basically perma frenzy if you have enough attack speed. And on the suffixes you want to get the armor shed, so this way you don't need to build any armor shed on the weapon, for example, or anywhere else. And if you do have armor shed on the weapon, so you got lucky and you got that, then you don't need armor shed on this one, so you can instead go increase. So going for the crit avoidance blessing, since we're not using the reduced crit base that the Sentinel usually uses, so with Seed this makes a lot of sense, and then you just get a D5 crit avoid on the ring here. And of course you can also get crit avoidance on the gloves, so if you have multiple LP, that might be an option as well. And the other blessings are just crit multi, armor, and physical rest to help with the Suloron Step downside, and then mana here. So this is quite nice with the Seed, so higher mana pool helps, of course. So overall, a very, very strong build. Really good damage, can get tanky with gear, and it's fun to play with the high attack speed. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.